Okay, so I have a story I wanted to share. Several years ago, my wife and I were really having some struggles financially, and we reached the point where we ended up not having enough money to pay our mortgage payment. And if you've ever been in a situation like that, you know how much stress that is. That's a big deal because not paying your mortgage enough times means you lose your house. And so I was obviously very concerned, very stressed, and very worried. And I remember calling and talking to my sister one day, and I was kind of just expressing my worries, my frustrations, and fears and everything about what was going on. And at the time, and prior to that time, I had been a very big worrier. I've since really worked hard to get over that. But at that point in my life, I was a big worrier and I had a lot of worries and fears about what was going to happen. So my sister stopped me. As I was going off and telling her all this stuff, she stopped me and she said, "Wait a minute. Let me ask you some questions. First of all, is the mortgage company calling you today and telling you you have to be out of your house?" And I'm like, "Well, no." And she said, "So what are you worried about? Why are you freaking out and stressing over something that's, at least a few weeks away?" In a situation like that where you're late on a mortgage, even 30 days, the mortgage company's not going to come kick you out of your house. That process can actually go on for quite a while. And yeah, it would suck if you went to that point and had to do a short sale on your house and you lost your home and needed to find a new place to live. That's going to provide a lot of stress and worry in your life, but it's not going to happen immediately. Like, you have time to fix the problem still. And so that got me thinking, and that's actually something that stuck with me. Why are you worried about something that's like way off in the future that you don't have to deal with right now? And really, I've hung on to that idea and that concept, and that's helped me a lot to kind of overcome some of my issues with worry. Now, today I still have worries. I still have frustrations. I'm actually in a little bit of a slump in my business right now. It's just the nature of my business. I have months where I do really well, and I have months where there's just not as much business. It's the way the market goes. And so, should I be freaking out and stressed and worried because today I'm not getting all of the sales that I need in my business? Or should I take a deep breath and recognize that this isn't creating some big problem that's going to hit me today? Now, if this continued, if I kept having slow months, month after month after month after month, then of course I have a problem that I need to fix, I need to figure out. But that's not the case. That's not what's going on right now. And because of some of those past experiences, and because of what my sister said to me way back when, I now am able to kind of put off a lot of those feelings of worry. I'm able to relax, to take a deep breath, and to recognize that these problems aren't immediate problems that need to be fixed right this second. Now, we all have problems that we've got to work on and that we've got to focus on and deal with, but we shouldn't stress ourselves and worry ourselves to the point that you end up, becoming incapable of fixing the problem, because that doesn't do you any good either. If you allow yourself to get so worked up that you can't come up with any solutions, you can't find a way to fix the problem, or maybe you physically are not even capable of it because you're so mentally stressed out, that doesn't do you any good at all. So I'm grateful to my sister for having that conversation with me all those years ago. And hopefully, me talking to you about this helps you to maybe look at those things that you're stressed and that you're worried about, and maybe helps you to realize that most of the things in our lives that we stress and worry over are not immediate problems. And granted, yes, there are things that we need to deal with today, but if there's a problem or a situation in your life that is not an immediate thing, don't put that immediate weight on your shoulder right now and make that into something that needs to be solved right this second, because that doesn't help you fix the problem. It just adds more stress, more pressure to your life, and can make it even harder for you. Now, another little topic that I want to bring into this is the power of positive thinking. And there's probably 1,000 different books that have been written on this topic. And I'm betting you can go on YouTube and find a million different videos that are going to show you different methods or talk to you about ways that you can improve your thought process. Well, I wanted to share one little thing that I heard recently that I thought was really cool and just kind of gives you maybe a better picture of what this means. Like, what does it mean to have positive thoughts, and how can that actually help us? So the story was that there was a sports team, and I think it was a basketball team, and the coach wanted to try an experiment, or somebody wanted to try an experiment. I'm probably not telling the story exactly right, but somebody wanted to try an experiment. And what they did is they had 3 different groups. So the first group practiced normally and would practice their shots on the court. And the second group did nothing. And then the third group, instead of physically practicing, they were supposed to spend that, couple hours a day or whatever, sitting down and practicing in their minds and, practicing making shots. And I believe, to be more specific, they were practicing free throws. So this was to improve the team's overall free throw stats. But after several weeks of doing this, they brought everybody back in, and then they did some testing to see, how each group had done. Well, the group that had done no practice at all had actually lost some skill. They weren't as good, and they needed practice again. The group that had been practicing on the court had seen, I think they said it was like a 30% increase in shots that they were making. And the group who had been practicing in their mind was like 1 percentage point behind the group that had been practicing on the court. And when I heard that, I'm like, wow, that's amazing to me. That's a huge, huge thing for your mind to be able to create something so real that if you close your eyes and you sit there and you practice making those shots in your mind, and you do that consistently enough that when you get out on the court, you can actually do that. And so to me, that was an incredible example of the power of positive thinking. Now, on the flip side, back in the day when I was focusing on all of those worries, what was I creating inside of myself? What was I creating, outwardly in my world, in my life at that time? So it's important that we watch our thoughts. It's important that we learn to control the things we're thinking of and focus more of our thought process on positive things and on things that are helping us. And, there's a book by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. And I think that book teaches some of those concepts very well, that it really is a power in our minds, that if we can focus and concentrate on something long enough and put enough energy into that focus in our minds, that we can create that in the real world, in our lives. And I know for a fact that I do not do this enough. I need to work on this a lot. And so my challenge, I guess, to myself as well as to anybody who's watching this is to figure out a way that you can do this on a regular basis. Maybe it means setting an alert on your phone, or put it into your schedule in some way, shape, or form, so that you can take time every day to focus on the things that matter to you and that are important to you, and at the same time to make a conscious effort to stop focusing on the negative things. When those negative thoughts come, and they'll always come, you're always going to have negative thoughts coming into your mind. I think that's just part of life, and we can't avoid that. But we don't have to continue focusing on that stuff. We don't have to keep those thoughts in our mind. We can find other things to push those out and to send us down more of a positive direction in our thoughts. So that's the message today, and kind of a challenge as well. So let's do it together, and I will try this myself, and I will report back if I have any worthwhile success to share with you. But until then, see you later. Bye.